The $1 million Juvenile Fillies Turf is up next. And to talk about it, we bring in a man I'm pleased to call a colleague over at Sky Sports Racing. He's been doing form internationally, and he's always a pleasure to have on these airwaves. He's Callum Helliwell. Callum, how are things?
I'm very good, Peter. How are you? Enjoying my time briefly back in the UK before shooting off to Saudi Arabia, but Sky have been keeping me plenty busy. So looking forward to going through this race and discussing what on earth is going on across the Atlantic with your turf fillies, because this is an issue. This is a crisis, in my opinion, because they're awful. I can't believe we're going to be facing these. We've not even sent over our best. We've left our best horse here. It's not worth it. We'll send over our second stringers, and they should just be about to do the business, to be honest. I think Juvenile Fillies Turf is coming back to Europe, or remaining in Europe, I should say.
I do wonder if you might be underrating one who was last seen up at the Natalma at Woodbine in Chief Wales Pretty. This is a horse that I was pretty impressed by, and to me looks like one who could have a little bit more to give. I'm not saying that you're wrong in the idea that the international raters would be the favorites, but don't be so fast to give up on that one.
Well, I would agree with you, Peter, but I used an attempt. We did this last year, and I foolishly followed the Americans. I said, I'm going to follow you guys. I believe in your fillies. And what your town was that there was strengths and depths in that field. And to me, there doesn't look to be as much strength and depth in the field of this town that's happened this season. And She Feels Pretty have absolutely bolted up, and she's done it impressively. But Buchu, or Buku, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, but she also won her last race impressively, doing a quite similar thing, coming wide and late and showing great stretch speed. So I can see there's definitely ability there. But the strength and depth of these fields looks really, really poor. These European horses, the French performer, La Pavotte, for example, was pumped by opera singer in Paris-Longchamp during the Arc Festival. But that form is strong. The way she ran and suggests she's going to improve and do better. And she's a massive price today. So for me, there's just better strength and depth in Europe than there is in America. And I can't trust the Talma form. Once bitten, twice shy.
Is La Pavotte the way that you're leaning in this race? Run us through the European contingent.
Well, let's start from the top. Carla's Way for Simon and Ed Crisford. Great to see them having a runner at a big meeting like this. That's your 5-2 favourite at the moment in the UK market. For me, she's done everything right. She was really impressive last time out with Newmarket. The way she won over that mile going away was really quite impressive. I like the style in which she did that. And she's done nothing wrong, and she's earned her place here. For me, I'm looking at the horse, the second favourite is Porta Fortuna, the Royal Ascot winner, who was a superstar then, and then looked really to be struggling when she was stepping up a trip. But if you look at the bare form, you see her stepping up to a mile, she gets beaten. You see her stepping beyond that sprint trip, you see her beaten. But if you watch the races, and that's what I always tell everyone, don't just look at the numbers, watch the races, because if you watch her run, she doesn't get first run on her opponents in her last trip over a mile. She comes right up the rail. She had a horse falling into a lap. She had to wriggle past that and then got up the rail and ran a really nice race. I think she'll get this trip. I think she's got a little bit more speed than Carla's Way. We know how important speed is in the USA.
Definitely one of terrific interest and an interesting trend. You talk about the U.S. contingent. Well, how about this too? The two that you just mentioned do have U.S. ownership, but choosing to campaign overseas and then bring here, which is an interesting angle with Medallion Racing, with Porta Fortuna and Glen Hill Farm involved with La Pavotte. What of the other invaders? What sort of chance do you give them?
Well, it's hard really to look outside of those three, to be honest, because they're the three that I think are going to go. There are quite a few of those who are in there as possibilities and probables, but I don't think they're going to get the start. And for me, those three are the ones I really like. There's not much strength, and that's why I was so confused when I looked at the market. I'm looking at She Feels Pretty, your third favourite. Hard to Justify is your fourth favourite. Buchu is your fifth favourite. I don't want any of those. And that's why I'm drawn to La Pavotte at 10s. You can find La Pavotte if you dig around a little bit and try and search the value. You find her as big as 14, 15s in some places. But she'll shorten up when people work out what's going on. At Britain, we take a little bit of time to adjust to these UK markets, and pre-entries is a thing we just do not understand. We're very confused about how pre-entries work, but we're getting it slowly but surely. So for me, I can't look outside of those three European contenders. I think the top of the market is where the strength is. I don't see much strength from below the market, and for me, the American Raiders, She Feels Pretty, is the most impressive. She is visually impressive. She looks like a big strapping filly or a big chestnut filly. She looks lovely. She covers the ground well. But what did she beat on that occasion? And is that form really strong, deeper than the surface level of that really impressive victory?
If I held your feet to the fire, Callum, to choose between the European Raiders, which direction would you go from this far out?
I think Porta Fortuna for me. I think she's been campaigned really interestingly. I think that victory at Ascot was exciting and good to see. She did that from the front. I think she's going to do this very differently, but I think she's got speed to which Carla's Way may not have. And I think that speed will put her in a much better position when we go for home. Carla's Way had the run of the race last time out. I think she might be slightly flattered in that performance. So hopefully they can both run big races. But for me, Porta Fortuna is an absolute steal, and it will be wonderful for another O'Brien to get their hands on a Breeders' Cup trophy, because it's going right through the family at the moment. And Donica, who possibly has had the more quiet sort of spell as a trainer, he didn't hit the ground running as quickly as Joseph did out the saddle. Both of them absolutely mustard jockeys in the saddle, but out the saddle, Donica O'Brien was probably a little bit forgotten. And it's great to see him actually doing the business now. This season's been really strong, and he's been a real diehard at the market. He's been at every sale. I remember when I used to work at Goss up in Doncaster, you see him at every single sale as possible. And a lot of trainers who will send representatives, there's a lot of trainers who look at not even attending certain sales. He's going to everyone trying to find these diamonds in the rough. And hopefully the support that he's getting now from owners will be strengthened if he has himself a Breeders' Cup winner.
Great stuff, Callum. We look forward to chatting with you again very soon.
Look forward to it too, Peter, anytime you like.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want more great content, choose one of the videos you see on screen now, or go to our website, inthemoneypodcast.com. And for even more, check out inthemoneypodcast.com/plus.